morning. It is a Friday in late November, and it's actually kind of sunny. We did get about 4 inches of snow a couple weeks ago. I was distressed because our yard was still completely full of leaves. All of these trees, all of the leaves from all of these trees were all over the ground. And our yard service hadn't come yet. And I tell them not to come until mid-November, because that tree, which you can see still has a few up on top, and that tree, which you can see still has some leaves, don't lose their leaves until really late. And so I don't like it when they come too early, because then they do the whole yard cleanup and charge me hundreds of dollars, and then a whole bunch more leaves fall, and it looks like they didn't come and do anything. So this year they did wait, because I had them put a note on my account saying not to come until at least November 10th. And they didn't come on November 10th, 11th, 12th. And then like the 13th, 14th, it snowed like 4 inches. And the snow was here for quite a while. And then thankfully it did very gradually start to melt, and they were able to come a few days ago and do my fall cleanup. And so the yard is okay now, thankfully. And now I'm totally fine if it snows. I should tell you that it's freezing in here. It's absolutely freezing in the house right now. My feet are very cold. I just went and did my stuff in the bathroom, and the tile floor, my feet were freezing. I just thought I would do a day in the life video with you guys today, because I haven't done one of these in over a year. And I know that there are some people who do like them. I haven't brushed my hair yet or anything. So part of the reason I haven't done any more of these is because our life is pretty boring. We are literally just home all the time, and the kids are doing school at home. And I help Ben with school and Megan with school and run my YouTube channel, and that's pretty much it. We don't really go anywhere or do anything. If we go anywhere and do anything, it's documented in my vlogs. So there's not a whole lot going on here at home that would be very interesting to you. But I need a video for a spot in my video schedule, and so this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so going back to it being very cold in here, it's about 24 degrees outside right now, and I have the heat turned down to below 60 in the house, because I do that every night, because I'm trying to save energy, and I'm trying to save energy costs. And one of the reasons I'm trying to do that is because I'm very, very, very mad at the people who run the energy assistance program in the state of Wisconsin. I have gotten energy assistance every single year of my adult life because of my income. And usually I apply right away when the applications open up on October 1st. And usually it's my November, December, January, February, and sometimes March bill, which heat and electric get covered by energy assistance. And this year they switched to somebody new who's like running it or something. I don't really understand, but I still went to the new website. I still applied on October 1st. And I waited and waited and waited, and I ended up having to pay my energy bill in November, because it was time to pay it, and I hadn't heard anything. What they do is, once you're approved, they send the money, a big chunk of money, straight to your energy vendor and pay your bill, and it covers several months through the winter. I should add that every single bill I have, utilities and anything related to the house, have all increased in the past year. My mortgage has gone up because my property taxes have increased a huge amount, and I have an escrow account that includes my property taxes and my homeowner's insurance. My energy bill has gone up, my cell phone bill has gone up, my water bill has gone up, and my garbage bill have all gone up. All through just them raising it through no fault of my own. And that really stinks, because my income keeps decreasing. I finally get an email or a letter or something, like just recently, telling me that it had been more than 31 days since I applied, and so I was denied. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know what that meant. And so I called, and I had to call volumes heavy, just like everywhere during the pandemic. And so I had to wait for like 2 days for someone to call me back. And when she called me back, she admitted that it was their fault, that they did not process my application within 31 days, and therefore I got booted out. And so now I have to do a phone interview. And she scheduled my phone interview for December 15th, which is after my December energy bill is due. So that means now I have to pay my November one and my December one, which I wasn't planning on having to pay. And it takes about 31 days for them to process the application. So that means also that it won't be processed until after my January bill is due. So basically, energy assistance is doing nothing for me this winter. So I don't even know what the point is at this point, because I'm actually hoping that we're going to be able to move like in March. So even if they send money by then, we won't even own, maybe we won't even own the house anymore. I'm going to make the bed. Remember, I don't know, 9-10 months ago? Yeah, it was around Ben's birthday. We had made those videos where we reviewed pillows. Yeah, these are still the same pillows. I haven't gotten new pillows. They are getting pretty flat. And I just haven't had any luck and haven't had any extra money to get new pillows. I did finally buy Ben a $10 pillow at Target just so he would have a new pillow because his was pathetic. And Megan kept the one that was from the first video review we did. I can't remember what it was called, but I'll link it up above so you can go back and watch that. So yeah, I still need new pillows. Also, my mattress is over 10 years old now and really needs to be replaced. It's getting kind of uncomfortable for me. And the kids' mattresses are about 15 years old. Yeah, we really all need new mattresses. But the reason I've been waiting, well, first of all, I don't have any money because you really ought to spend like $1,000 for a good mattress, is because, again, we want to move. And I don't see the point of moving the 10 and 15-year-old mattresses to a new place when we only are going to need to get new ones. I would rather just get rid of these and get new mattresses and have them delivered directly to the new place that we're going to live. This is what I'm reading right now. At the end of like the second half of November to the end of the year, I like to read Christmas novels. And this one is what I'm reading right now. Right before this, I finished one called The Christmas Bookshop by Jenny Colgan, set in Edinburgh, Scotland. And I just like sometimes I read Christmas mysteries, but I like nice heartwarming novels set in Christmas times, especially if they're British. This one is not British, but it's still pretty good so far. One thing that I really enjoy about our life for the past 2 years now, basically, is not having to set my alarm clock. For a while, I was setting my alarm clock for 8:30 on school days, but a lot of the time I wake up before it goes off. I usually wake up anywhere from 7 to 8:30 anyway. Right around 9:30 is when we all typically feel like getting going and doing school and everything. Ben got up before me today. He's already downstairs. Megan is not up, and so I will need to wake her up. It's about 8:30 right now. And I always get her up right around that time, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, so she can get started on school. She's very independent. Ben and I do his school stuff together. Because he got down there ahead of me, he has some time on his own computer to do his own stuff this morning before we do school. We don't have very much to do today. We just have a review for U.S. history to look through, and he has his final exam in English. Ben and I are actually way ahead. It's only the end of November, and there's till mid-January is when the semester ends. But his school is on semesters, and Megan's school is on quarters. So the classes that she's having to do with her online schooling are designed to be done in a semester, but she has to finish them in a quarter. And she was really struggling to finish her first quarter classes. That's been really difficult for her. She has to work from the time she gets up until... It's better this quarter. She had 2 classes in first quarter that were extremely time consuming. I almost think one of them was meant to be done in a year. And I mean, she had like 10 assignments due a day. It was ridiculous. That's not an exaggeration. The other thing that we don't like about how it's set up for her, and even it was for Ben, but we're ahead, so it doesn't matter, is they scheduled assignments due and lessons due on holidays. Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Eve. They took no account for holidays or anything. And when I complained about it and said, what the heck, my kids aren't going to get a Thanksgiving break or a Christmas break, they said, yeah, we don't have any way to change that because like different kids from different schools are using this program, and so everybody's schedule's different, and so they can't tweak it to our school district like the one that they were using last year, which was really nice. They said, you'll just have to work ahead. Well, fine, that worked for Ben because his is on semesters anyway, and we were able to work ahead, and we're going to be done with everything by the beginning of December with all of his classes. We're already done with his science class. We're going to finish English today, hopefully. His history and math left. But Megan is just doing the best she can to stay on pace. And so she doesn't have any time to work ahead. There's no way. And so she's kind of mad because she's supposed to have a Thanksgiving break. The kids at school get a Thanksgiving break. They get a whole week off. And she's not going to get anything off. And same thing with Christmas. That's kind of a bummer. But so we're not very happy with the program that they chose for the virtual students this year. And they don't seem to be placing a very high priority on virtual students. Again, we're not happy with the school district at all. They're not wearing masks, even though our county, just yesterday in the news, it reported had the highest test positivity rate of the entire pandemic. It's so bad here. The numbers are so high. And our school district is not wearing masks. I'm very curious. The superintendent sends out a pandemic update every Friday after school's over, by the way, so parents can't call during school hours and complain. We're positive that's what they're doing. They don't send the daily emails about anything related to the pandemic until after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And my friend who's the children's librarian at the library, and I were talking about it, and we both agree they're doing that on purpose. So parents, when they get those emails, can't call anybody and ask about it or complain because nobody's there because the school's closed. So every Friday at like 5, 6, 7 p.m., the superintendent sends out the email with the new charts and the data and everything and how many cases and how many hundreds of kids are quarantined, because it's always in the hundreds. We've gotten emails every single day for the past 2 weeks of new positive cases in the schools. So I'm kind of waiting to see if the one we get today is going to say that they have to go back to wearing masks again. I don't know why they don't just make it, we're wearing masks the whole school year. Because that's what they did last year. They stuck to their guns last year. Last year they said, we don't care, we're wearing masks the whole school year. You know, and I was really impressed with that and respected that a lot. But this year, they're all wishy-washy. I am sure it's because of parental pressure of parents who don't want their kids wearing masks because apparently they're sadists. I don't know. I wish that everybody, good job on you, Austria. I just saw this morning, before I started filming this, that Austria, which just Sunday put into place a lockdown for unvaccinated citizens. Their cases are still so high and so out of control. They've now just 5-6 days later made it a countrywide lockdown and have made vaccination mandatory for every citizen of Austria. I hate to tell you folks, but that's probably what's going to have to happen for this to end. Because the reluctance of people to get, the refusal, let's use the right word. The refusal of people to get vaccinated, and not just vaccination, but do all the other things you should be doing to make this stop. It's infuriating. People won't wear their masks. They won't distance. They won't stop their behaviors that are contributing to spread. It's just ridiculous. And everybody complains and they're so sick of it. Yeah, we're all sick of it. Those of us who are doing what we're supposed to be doing are really dang sick of it because of the people who aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. Rant over. We're not happy with the virtual program that they chose this year. We like the classes, okay? The classes are actually kind of good. And there's a teacher assigned to each class, but we did find out that they're all actually full-time teachers during the day at in-person schools. So they're not available to my kids during the day. So they're basically pretty much on their own. I'm very glad they have me, and so are they. They're so thankful they have me. I can't teach now because of my injury, but even if I didn't have this injury, there is not enough money in the world that you could pay me to get me to go back to teaching. There is so little respect for teachers these days, and people treat teachers like, that poor Spanish teacher in Iowa just got murdered by 2 of her students. Teachers are treated absolutely horribly. They don't get paid enough. They're treated horribly by parents. They're treated horribly by administrators. And they're treated horribly by the government, and they're treated horribly by society. And students, actually. They're just treated horribly. There's no way I would go back to teaching now. I do not miss it at all. But I'm very happy that I am a trained licensed teacher so that I can help my own kids during the pandemic with their doing school at home. Do like, though, that we get to be on our own schedule and we get to get up when we want to. And we still stick, though, to a pretty fixed routine as far as doing school, because we don't want to be doing it on the weekends and in the evening and stuff. We kind of stick to a regular school day. We just don't get up as early as everybody else. All right, and here's the question of the day. Can I walk down the stairs normally? I never know for sure. It all depends on my ankle. Oh, it hurts today. Sometimes I can do this. See the every other foot? But not always. Oh, no. It doesn't feel strong enough today. So then I have to do it like this. And some days it's better, and some days it's really bad. And I have no idea why. It's one way or the other. And Ben should be down here. There he is. Hello. Good morning, Ben. So see, he got down here before me today, so he has some time of his own on the computer before we have to do school. Okay, I've turned the heat up. We actually have 2 thermostats because back in the 1920s and 1930s, this house was actually divided into a lower and upper apartment. But it's been a single family house again since like the 50s or 60s, but there's still 2 thermostats. So I turned the thermostats up. It's still freezing right now. It's currently 26 degrees outside. Ben and Megan are very much hoping for snow. Ben said he had been up since about 7. He had already gotten himself breakfast. And I have some morning things to do that it really messes me up if I can't do these first before school. I'm usually pretty good with my ankles first thing in the morning. Like they feel okay. Once I have shoes on, I have to have shoes on. If I don't have any shoes on, then they don't feel right. They hurt and they feel weird. So I have to have shoes on. And then once I do, in the morning, I'm usually okay, like just at least doing basic things around the house. So I emptied the dishwasher. I went around and emptied some of the little garbage cans that seem to fill up just constantly. Talked to Ben a little bit about a few things. And now I'm doing a few things on my computer that I do every morning. I check my email. I check the weather. I check my bank account twice a day. That's a good tip for you, by the way, to watch out for identity theft, which happens all the time. Megan and I and a couple of Ben's more responsible friends or maybe it's just one. There might just be 3 of us, are administrators for Ben's Discord server for his YouTube channel. And so every morning I go on there and monitor all of the activities that have happened since the last time I was on. And I also am the person who does all of the dailies. I do a daily poll, a daily word, and a daily number. And then I check my Twitter feed, and I check my YouTube, which is where I'm at right now. And curious, how do you guys go about your YouTube watching? So what I do is throughout the day, as I get notifications, I subscribe to 40 channels. And I try to keep it at exactly 40 because I've discovered that that's about what I can manage. If it gets over that, then I kind of look, what channel am I not really watching anymore? Is there something that, I'm not really interested in, or I'm not really enjoying their videos anymore, and I'll maybe delete some, especially if I add something. If I add a channel, I try to get rid of another one. But it doesn't happen very often. I pretty much have the same 40 channels all the time. I go through my notifications and my subscriptions, and I add those videos to my watch later list. And then I like to put my watch later, I'm weird. I put my watch later list in order from shortest video to longest video. And that's how I watch them. So if I have like little periods throughout the day, I can maybe knock off a couple of the shorter videos here and there, like when I have a little time. Like for example, I got four videos so far that are posted this morning from my subscriptions. One of them is 3 minutes, 11 seconds. One of them is 3 minutes, 30 seconds. One of them is 7 minutes, 3 seconds. And one of them is 14 minutes and 50 seconds. So I put them in that order. Now I will get more videos throughout the day. Usually I have between 8 and 12 videos per day to watch from my 40 channels that I subscribe to, because everybody doesn't post every day. If we travel, I get way behind. If we travel, I can get like 50 some videos that I have to watch, and it'll take me several days to get through all of them and watch them all. I mean, if it's something that I'm obviously just not interested in, I don't add it to my watch later list. But for the most part of the channels I'm subscribed to, I try to watch everything that they make. So then I save my YouTube video, the main chunk of YouTube viewing, to the very end of the day. It's like the last thing I do before I get off my computer when it's time to go to bed at night. So I'm usually watching the majority of the YouTube videos that I watch between like 6 and 9 p.m. What about you guys? When do you watch yours, and what is your system for how you decide what to watch? Okay, and then I check my own channel. If any of you have a channel, you know what this is like. You check your channel constantly. I don't have any new subscribers since I went to bed last night. Ugh, my last 2 videos are doing really, really poorly. If you guys haven't realized, YouTube recently opened up the community tab to all channels that have at least 500 subscribers. So I was really, really excited about that because I have a community tab now. And if you haven't been paying attention, I have been making community posts on my community tab since I got that back at like the beginning, middle of October. I've been doing a post almost every day. So please be sure to check the community tab if you haven't been seeing those on your YouTube homepage, because I've put a whole bunch of polls. Okay, go figure. I feel like nobody is interested in my new video series, Travel Talk Tips and Trivia. They are not doing well. There's been 3 so far, and each one has fewer views than the one before. So I feel like nobody's really interested, but I put a poll. Now there's only 11 votes so far, but 100% of respondents said, I love this series, please make more. Well, obviously those 11 people are part of the people that have been watching the videos, but yeah. So I also have a poll question on here that's only gotten 8 votes, and I'd really like to get more votes on this. I made our Disney World dining reservations, and there's 4 restaurants that are going to be new to us that we're going to try, and so far, Space 220. Yes, I scored a reservation at the extremely expensive Space 220. And that is in the lead. 75% of people have said that they want us to do a video. I mean, I'm going to do a video about all of them, but I asked what people are most interested in, and Space 220 is in the lead. YouTube is sometimes glitchy. My stats, my views has not updated in like 5 days, so I'm sure that's not accurate. Oh, by the way, do you like my new banner? I have a new channel banner, which was made by my son, Ben. He designed it and made it for me. So let me know in the comments if you like my new banner. It has a lighthouse. My old one had a lighthouse too, a very small one out in the distance. I took that photograph of my old banner. This is Ben created it for me. Okay, and then I check if I have any comments. I have no new comments. That's a bummer. And that's about it. And then I also check my email. I think I might have said that already. The email, my banking, the weather. I don't usually dive into the news. I spend a lot of time reading the news. I read a lot of science news, and I read a lot of travel news every single day. And that takes up a good chunk of my time because I like to stay on top of things. I usually save that until after Ben and I have done school. My computer is over here, okay, and then we'll just spin you around. This is Ben's school Chromebook. He has his own computer in the other room. And this is my little desk, which we're currently using for Ben for school. And then I have my little organizational stuff over here. I put up a daily plan of what we're going to do today. And then you can see I have pages and pages of, lesson plans of what we're doing each day. It's been since the beginning of the year. They're all here. So that's the teacher in me. I do make plans for him and stick to it. I haven't had breakfast yet, so I'm probably going to make myself a little breakfast, and then Ben and I are going to do school, and I will bring you guys back with us after we're done with that for the day. All right, so it's almost lunchtime, and Ben and I are finished with school for today. We were able to take his English final exam, and then there's a survey to fill out when you finish each of the classes to kind of give your feedback on how you liked the class. And we did that, and then we did all the review stuff for his history class. And some of the stuff was hard to remember because it went back all the way to the beginning of the semester. This is U.S. history from like the Revolutionary War to the War of 1812, basically, is what it's covering. So now he's finished with both science and English, and all he has left now for this semester is his final exams for U.S. history and math. Now, here's the weird thing about these classes. They put a password on the midterms and the final exams, and this has proved to be a major pain in the butt. Megan came across this, and it's happened a couple times with Ben. The classes are run by the virtual school and the virtual teachers, okay? But they have a coach here in the local school district, which for Ben is a tech ed teacher, and for Megan is her guidance counselor, okay? I am positive that these people are not paying attention at all to what's going on with the virtual students on a daily basis. All they're really there for is to put their grades in when they're done with the class, I think is pretty much their main purpose. Okay, but when they get to a test that requires a password, even though the teacher and the woman who answers the phone at the virtual school have the passwords, they can't give them to the students. They can't give them to us. The students have to contact their coach at the local school district, and then the coach has to contact their virtual teacher. The virtual teacher tells them the password, and then the coach tells the student the password. It's a stupid, pointless waste of time that accomplishes absolutely nothing. When we were dealing with this problem, because it threw Megan totally off for her schedule in first quarter. When we were dealing with this problem in first quarter, I asked the woman at the virtual school when I called him, like, what is the point of this? And she said, I really don't know. So there is no point. So all it does is slow the kids down, because it's not any kind of a security thing or anything like that. Ben was ready to take his English final yesterday, but he couldn't because the password that the coach gave us was wrong and didn't work. So he couldn't take his English final yesterday. So then today we got an email from him saying, here's what it actually is, and that one worked. There's actually 5 school weeks left of the semester. So because next week is actually Thanksgiving break, but like I talked about earlier, Megan's not really going to get a Thanksgiving break. We're aiming for her to not do any schoolwork on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, and Friday, even though we're not doing anything. I'll come back to that in a second. And then there's like 3 weeks, and then there's like 2 weeks off for Christmas break, which again, Megan isn't really going to get off. But as far as the school's concerned, they don't have school those 3 weeks. So there's only 5 weeks left in the semester. So Ben is basically finishing about 5 weeks early before the end of the semester. So that's great. So he'll have a nice extended break. After he takes those last 2 final exams, he'll have a break, and then until after we get back from Disney World in January. Okay, Thanksgiving break. I was going back through some pictures the other day, and I realized that we almost always used to go on some kind of little getaway or vacation over Thanksgiving break for years. You know, never very far, but like we would go to Wisconsin Dells, or we would go to the cities or something like that. Last year, if you remember, right before I got injured and fell and hurt my ankles, we had planned to go on a big trip, which we ended up doing almost the same trip we had planned in June. That was our Mid-Atlantic States trip. That was what we were planning on doing, but it was all going to be like Christmas stuff instead, in like Virginia and North Carolina and Washington, D.C. and stuff. We couldn't go to Washington, D.C. then, though, because of stuff with the pandemic. But anyway, we decided to cancel that trip, and we did not go on that trip because the cases were rising rapidly. Well, the same thing is happening now. We actually had booked a little getaway to Great Wolf Lodge in Bloomington, Minnesota for the first few days of Thanksgiving break, and I ended up canceling it because I didn't feel comfortable with the way things are going with the pandemic again. Things are very, very bad here where we live, and things are very, very bad in Minnesota. I canceled it for that reason. And I'm sorry to one specific viewer who commented something about Great Wolf Lodge where I told him we were going to be going this month and now we're not going. And then the other thing is money. I'm really nervous that I'm not going to have enough money for the money we need to have with us on our Disney trip. I have enough to pay off like almost like everything's basically paid, but I need the money I need for food and like Disney GD Plus. And if we want to buy anything like souvenirs or anything, I'm worried about having enough money for that for our Walt Disney World trip. And so that kind of went into me canceling Great Wolf Lodge as well. My point is, this is the second year in a row that a combination of money stress and high pandemic numbers have prevented us from having any kind of a getaway at Thanksgiving break. So that's kind of a bummer. What about you guys? Are either of those things affecting your ability to travel over the holidays? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so now for the rest of the day, this is where you will find us. I will be at my computer in there. Ben will be at his computer out here, and I think he's doing some planning for your videos for the weekend, yes? Yeah, preparing for stuff for his channel. And Megan will be sitting here on her end, doing school.
I'm writing a crime scene report.
She's writing a crime scene report for her forensic science class. Oh, I never told you what Megan is taking this quarter. She is taking forensic science, Japanese again, which she also had first quarter, and astronomy. So basically she's taking the second semester of both Japanese and astronomy. And she's taking world religions. And these will be her final high school classes, because she is graduating in just like 58 days or something. Hi, it's noon and I'm in the car going to get the grocery pickup. We still don't go into grocery stores. Honestly, that's not just a pandemic thing. That's also because I just really like the convenience of ordering online and just picking it up and having them put it in my car for me. And that's especially true since my injury, because groceries is a lot of work. Having to go through, I mean, if you think about it, you got to go through, you got to get everything, you got to put it in the cart, you got to go, you got to take it back out of the cart, you got to put it on the belt and ring it all up, and then maybe you also have to bag it yourself. So it's a lot of work. Okay, it's kind of sunny, but it's very cold. It's only like 25 degrees. If it was cloudy, we'd for sure get some snow. But Megan and I have been working our way through movies and now TV shows that she didn't get to see when they were on originally. And so I'm sharing with her some of my favorite TV shows. Movies I did with both Andrew and Megan. At some point when they were in their teens, I watched a whole bunch of movies with them, and some with Ben too, that, you know, came out in the 80s and 90s. With Andrew, it tended to be more like action movies and sci-fi movies and stuff like that. And then like with Megan, I watched like a whole bunch of romantic comedies and things like that. And we don't actually watch very much TV at all. We really only watch 1 or 2 shows a day. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I hate watching movies at home. I really don't like it. I really hope that movie theaters survive the pandemic. I think they will, because I absolutely get no joy out of watching movies at home at all. And I know I'm in the minority on that, but I just really hate watching movies at home. I much, much prefer to go to the movie theater and watch a movie in its entirety from beginning to end, including previews, popcorn, and Junior Mints, with no interruptions. And everybody has to be quiet. Okay? At home, that's not possible. Everybody's talking. I mean, even when we watch like FBI, was that last night? I think it was last night. We were watching FBI while we were eating supper, and I had to pause it like 67 times because the kids comment and ask questions, and they get up and go in the kitchen, and they go to the bathroom, and it just drives me nuts. I can't stand watching stuff like that. I want to watch it, and this includes YouTube videos too. I want to watch it from beginning to end without stopping. That's how I want to watch stuff. And just, I mean, even to watch a 1-hour show or even a half-hour show at home, I can't do that. And so I just really don't like watching movies at home. Megan and I have watched Rizzoli and Isles, and we're still getting through Elementary. And I think we're still going to have to go back and watch it from the beginning again, because somehow Megan has still not seen. I think I've watched the whole thing again by myself, but somehow in there Megan started on like season 3 or 4 or something and never saw the first couple seasons. We watched Seinfeld. We don't have Netflix. We got them from the... Oh, jeez. Hold on. You couldn't move over. Ah! Okay, that semi just almost ran me into a wall, and he could have totally moved over. We get a lot of stuff from the library and try to spend as little money as possible. So we got all 9 seasons of Seinfeld on disc from the library, and we basically watched those. That was what we watched all over the summer and finished it not too long ago. And now we're watching Friends, and Megan loves Friends, and we're on season 2, and we're on each season of these has 4 discs, and there's about 6 episodes on a disc usually, 5 or 6, and then we just started disc 3 of season 2. So that's what we're watching. So we watch our short sitcom, you know, first it was Seinfeld, now it's Friends. Before that we watched the whole seasons of The Middle. We used to watch The Middle when it was originally on, and then we watched the whole thing again because it was on streaming for a while. And so we watch a sitcom while we eat lunch, because that's a nice, funny break for Megan from school, but it's shorter, and so it doesn't take up a huge chunk of her day and throw her all off, so she can still get back to school pretty quickly. And then in the meantime, because Ben watched some of Seinfeld with us, but he didn't like it that much, and he doesn't like Friends. So while we're doing that in the den, Ben usually goes out in the living room and he works his way through endless Disney movies from Disney Plus, which are Disney Plus just renewed today. And if you're like me, you notice that it went up in price again. It's still, even with the tax, it was $84.39. And I did the math on that. That's still only $7 a month. So it's still a pretty good deal, because I also subscribe to Hulu and Paramount Plus, and I pay for no commercials, and they're both about $11, $12 a month. So Disney Plus is still cheaper. Okay, so right now I am going to get the grocery pickup and at Walmart, and then Walmart where we live is right next to Culver's, and it's Friday, and so we always get our Culver's on Friday. And so I'm going to go get the groceries, and then I'm going to go across the street and get the Culver's. Okay, so I'm doing okay driving. You notice I haven't really had to stop. I come out here from my house, I basically get on the freeway right away, and I take the freeway to the Walmart. And as long as I don't have to brake, but I'm going to show you where it starts to hurt. The one thing that is causing my ankle to be in quite a bit of pain right now is the cold. I didn't realize that the cold affected it so much. It hurts all the time, but it hurts more right now because it's so cold. Okay, nice. The light just turned green as I drove up to it, so that makes me happy because I don't have to hold the brake pedal. Okay, because I got injured right at the beginning of December, it's almost a year now, and I'll be making a video about that. That'll be coming up next week. I didn't realize how much the cold affected it. And I almost wonder if the reason I thought it was starting to get better last spring, like in March, is because the temperature was warming up. And there was just a little bit less pain because it was warmer. Okay, now, I'm at a red light. I cannot hold the brake. So I have to switch to my left foot. So now I'm holding the brake with my left foot. Now, somebody's pulling up right behind me. I don't want to put it in park, even though I know I'll be sitting at this light a while, because then the guy behind me is not going to see my brake lights. So I have to hold, if I have to sit at a stop for any length of time, I have to hold the brake with my left foot, because it is just much too painful to hold the brake down with my right foot. Now, it hurts also just to drive. Like right now, just the little bit that I'm pushing on the gas pedal is also painful. But I can tolerate it. But holding that brake, it's just unbearable. It really, really hurts. I mean, I can hold it, you know, right here I had to slow down just a little bit, but that's only for a second. Waiting for a gentleman to go past with his cart. He has his mask. So does the gentleman on my right. Older people, I notice, are pretty good about, not all of them, but they tend to be pretty good about wearing their masks. I think they have good reason to be concerned. Oh, they just repainted our Walmart and it looks really nice. And I just noticed the little canopy, oh bright. The little canopy where you park under to pick up your groceries used to be bright orange. And like last time I was here, it was bright orange and now it's blue. They seem to have gotten rid of the bright orange thing. They had bright orange accents on the Walmart and they seem to have gotten rid of all of that. Now it's just blue. Okay, Walmart, all employees wear masks. And also, I don't like to be close to people at all. So I also wear a mask out of consideration for them and to protect myself. I have my KN95 mask. This is a brand new one. I also really like these because they're very easy to get on and off. Okay, gonna have to do the app quick to tell them I'm here. Okay, once again, as this happened a lot lately, the app did not work. And so I had to call. They have the number right on the sign in front of me here so I can call, but they changed the app recently and like updated it, and in some ways it's super nice and works way better. But when I come here to pick up my groceries, it never works right lately. It's like it doesn't give me the option to tell them I'm here. So I don't know what's up with that. Bonus about wearing a mask in Wisconsin when it's cold. Megan takes a walk every day when she's done with school. And because it's been so cold lately, she likes to wear a mask on her walk, even though she's nowhere near any other people, because it keeps her face warm. It's very busy and I'm having to wait quite a while. There's a lot of people here picking up. Hi.
Hello, are you Heather?
Yes.
All right. So, do you want it all in the...
Yeah, on the way back. Thank you.
All right.
All right, I have my groceries. I was very glad to see he had gloves on. And the lady next to me, her guy who was loading her groceries, said to her, "Stay warm, ma'am, it's really cold out." And so I really feel for these people who are doing work like this. You know, anybody who's got to do work outside in Wisconsin in the winter, it's very cold. And it's very windy today. There's a bunch of flags up in front of me and they are really blowing. One of the strange things about my ankle that I don't think I've talked about in any of my ankle videos is, in addition to the trouble with like mobility, one of the other problems I've had is I can't really carry anything. It just seems like, especially, I mean, I can carry like small stuff, a book, a roll of paper towels, whatever. But I can't carry the laundry baskets anymore. I can't carry a full suitcase. It just seems like the added gravity pull on my ankle, it's just too painful, and I can't tolerate it, and it's like I'm gonna collapse. And it, see, like this hurts now. I gotta use my left foot. It's almost like the same thing as the holding the brake. When the ankle gets weight on it or gets compressed, a lot of people are wearing masks. That's good to see. I have to say I'm not surprised though. Things where we live right now are the worst they've been for the whole pandemic. The positivity rate, like over half of every test they're doing is positive. So it's really bad. So I'm not surprised to see a lot more people wearing masks than usual, if they're paying attention at all. The other thing is, if you didn't see the news today, the FDA has approved it that every adult, everyone 18 and over needs to get a booster. So as soon as there's no advantage to waiting longer than 6 months. So as soon as you pass 6 months from your second shot, get your booster. And you can get either one. If you got the Pfizer, you can get the Moderna, and vice versa. And if you got the Johnson & Johnson, you actually needed a booster 2 months after your first shot, because they realize now that actually probably should have always been a 2-shot thing. And if you got the Johnson & Johnson, you can also get the Pfizer or the Moderna as a booster. So I really strongly suspect it's going to end up being an annual shot, like influenza, or maybe even more than annual. I don't know. Okay, now I'm at the Culvers. See how close that was? And our Culvers recently, because it's gotten drive-thrus have gotten so popular and busy during the pandemic, that our Culvers expanded and has put in a double drive-through. There's 2 lanes here. And our McDonald's, we just got a brand new McDonald's. They tore our old McDonald's. Well, we have another one. There's another one across the street here, but there's another one elsewhere in town. The old McDonald's got torn down, and over the summer they built a brand new McDonald's, and they redid the drive-through completely, and it's really nice now and very well designed. And it also has 2 order lanes like this. I'll show you. Okay, now here, because it's more stop and go, I will go ahead and put the car in park, because I can't hold the brake this long. And so the people behind me know they got to be stopped anyway. So I'm not worried about them running into me because my brake lights aren't on. I just go ahead and put the car in park every time I move. A beef pot roast sandwich.
Okay.
No sauce.
No sauce. Okay.
In a basket with fries and a Pepsi.
Okay.
And then a kid's grilled cheese sandwich meal with fries and a lemonade.
Lemonade. Okay.
And a kid's dish of the flavor of the day. And then another kid's grilled cheese sandwich meal with fries and a chocolate milk. And a kid's dish of vanilla with Oreo. And then 3 sides of cheddar cheese sauce.
Was there anything else for you today?
No, thank you.
So we are looking at $25.89. Can I get a name for your order?
Heather.
All right, Heather. We'll see you at the window. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the reason they ask your name now is because of the double lane. Because then we have to merge back together into a single lane. And so they want to make sure that they don't get people out of order and charge you the wrong thing or give you the wrong food. All right, I have my food, and our Culver's is very, very popular. There are 3 lanes of 4 spaces each, so I think 12 spaces where people can sit in and wait. once you've ordered and you're waiting for them to make your food and bring it to you, and they're usually always full. So it's very, very popular. Yeah, it's pretty full right now. Okay, so all of that, leaving home, getting the groceries, getting the Culvers, took about 45 minutes, and I still have to go home, which is like about another 10, I think, and then Megan will bring in the groceries for me. And basically what she does when we do it like this, where I pick it up right when I'm picking up food too, is she just puts away the cold stuff, like the stuff that has to go in the fridge and the freezer. She just does that really quick while I'm like getting our food situated. And then she leaves the rest, and then I'll put the rest away after we eat so that, you know, our food doesn't get cold. And then sometimes, not all the time, it depends if he's in the mood, Ben and Megan will go on a walk together right after lunch. And we really encourage him to do that, because one thing I do worry about is I really don't think Ben is getting enough exercise. And especially with us going to Walt Disney World soon, I really think Ben is going to need to kind of train up and get used to walking longer distances. So sometimes they will do that. It's cold today, but it's bright. And so I am going to encourage him to go for a walk with Megan after lunch today. And then Megan always goes for a walk by herself, like I said, when she's done with school. And then right after that is, you know, is basically when it's dinner time. Like I mentioned earlier, the afternoons then are quite quiet in our house because Megan is working on school. Ben is usually doing a combination of things at his computer. He's either filming or editing video for his channel, or he's watching YouTube, or he's playing games, which some but not all of that is research for his channel. Or he's doing things on, you know, filming stuff that he needs to put in his videos but doesn't need to talk. Now, if he needs to film and talk, you know, like film and be talking, he'll try to time that, or we'll try to work it out so Megan and I can leave. Like maybe if he needed to film today, Megan would have come with me to get the groceries and get the food so that Ben could film while we're gone. And then, or he'll wait and he'll film while she's on her walk this afternoon. If it comes down to it, like once in a while he'll have a video that's like really time sensitive, like there was an update in Roblox and he needs to put out a video right away. Megan will move her stuff and come into that spot at my desk in the study with me, and we shut the den door, which cuts the sound a little, so that she can still keep working and Ben can be filming. First quarter, Megan had so much schoolwork to do that she was working until she went to bed. And it was awful. She was working from like 9 in the morning until 8, 9 o'clock at night, and it was terrible, and she really struggled to keep up. This quarter is better. Her classes are not as demanding, and so she's actually ahead in 3 of her 4 classes, and she's able to quit every day by about 4 o'clock. So about the normal school day. She has also been working on her college applications. She's got everything submitted, and now she's, you know, she had to follow up with the teachers that were writing her letters of recommendation. She's had to follow up with school now because they still haven't sent the colleges her transcripts. We don't know what's going on with that. And now we're just kind of waiting, but she's had to do all that college stuff too. She had to write her personal essays and all that. And then she's also doing November Novel Writing Month. So she's writing an entire novel in the month of November. She did this last year too. And last year in the middle of it, the school district she only had her school Chromebook. She didn't have her own computer last year. And the school district in the middle of November, in the middle of her writing, took away their personal ability to do anything personal, anything non-school related on their school Chromebooks. And Megan was freaked out. And my mom, thankfully, quickly bought and ordered Megan her own personal Chromebook and had it shipped to her like overnight. So Megan had a computer so she could, you know, continue on with her writing. That was what happened last year. This year, she's actually been doing all of her school on her own personal Chromebook. And her school Chromebook is just sitting there. Because the school Chromebook she had at the beginning of this year, we could not get her school classes to work on her school Chromebook. We had to take it in and they had to do all this stuff with tech support and everything. And it was like several days. They finally got it to work. But in the meantime, they had swapped out her school Chromebook that she'd had for all 4 years that she really liked and given her a different one in like an attempt to see if, oh, maybe switching the Chromebook will work, which it didn't. And she does not like the new Chromebook. It's not new, it's very old and it's crappy. And she doesn't like it at all and she doesn't want to use it. So she's just been doing school this whole year on her personal Chromebook. And then what I do in the afternoon, I do a lot of stuff. I do bills, and this is when I go through all the news. Lots and lots and lots of news. I read a lot every single day. And this is when I'd be doing stuff with our travels, like, you know, anything related to having to book stuff or things like that, or research anything for future travels. And this is when I will edit my videos and, you know, just responding to comments or doing community posts, updating my Instagram, anything like that, you know, any social media stuff, you know, household budget stuff, and or making appointments or anything like that. All of that other stuff that moms have to do, I do in the afternoon, and we try to just keep it a quiet atmosphere so everybody can individually be doing their own work. So when I get home now, Megan will bring in the groceries, we'll eat lunch, we'll watch Friends. Maybe Ben and Megan will go for a walk, and then we'll all just be at our computers until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon when Megan finishes up school for the day. Okay, a couple of updates. First of all, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like 24 degrees outside. That's my mailman. He's wearing shorts. What the heck? I don't understand why he's wearing shorts. I guess his legs... It's 26 degrees?
It's 36.
Oh, 36. It's a heat wave. How silly of me. He should also have a tank top on. Okay, he brought not all, but a bunch of this. Some of this has been sitting there a while. Most of this is Christmas presents, which I'm done with my Christmas shopping, but I don't want to wrap stuff until the tree is up. The tree's got to go right there. That involves, you know, moving furniture and stuff. Okay, and then Megan had a kind of a motivation loss after lunch. What happened, Meg?
I'm stuck in a part of school where it's all big written projects in
Every class, like all at
three of my
once.
classes all at once. And I really don't like those. So I'm just like kind of stuck because I've been stuck for like days on these because I just don't want to do them.
Tell what happened with this happened to both you and Ben today. What happened with your school Google accounts?
Okay, so there are a lot of accounts all the time. Both back when we were going to in-person school, it happened at the school, and it happens now online with our Google accounts that are issued by school. Kids do stupid things, and because they do that, everyone's privileges get taken away.
Yep.
And
earlier I was explaining about how they took away your personal Chrome account in the middle of November, novel writing month last year.
Yes. And now, Ben and I both noticed this morning that the profile pictures on our Google accounts that we really liked and have had for years are removed. And there's no way now for us to change our profile pictures from the standard letter of our names.
So it's just an M and a B.
Ever again. It's just an M and a B. And we can't change them anymore. And we are almost 100% positive that it's because some kid or kids did something stupid with their profile pictures because they were able to personalize them, and now nobody can personalize them.
Yep. So, yeah. Thanks, kids. It's not fair to the good kids. It's really not. Because this happens all the time where the good kids all lose privileges because a few ill-behaved children did dumb stuff.
Yeah.
It's 3:00, and when we get to this time of day, you're starting to think about what? Wanting to
Do anything but this?
But also you want to go for your walk before it gets dark.
Yes.
Okay.
So every day, it's become sort of just like something I just have to do. Just to clear my head, I like to go on a walk around the neighborhood.
So do I.
And Mom would really like to go too, but she can't because of her ankle. It hurts too much, which is really sad.
And I can't walk fast enough.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with you.
I like to go right at sunset, just because I think the world is kind of quiet and pretty then, and I like looking at the sky.
Sunset's a lot earlier than it was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and also another reason I want to go at sunset, like right around now, is because currently for National Novel Writing Month, a couple main scenes in the book I'm writing take place at sunset.
Oh.
So it's just a cool. I'm gathering the feeling of what the world is like right then, so that I can write it accurately and just like gather the atmosphere, I guess.
Because right now in November, when you're done with your school, you spend the rest of your day
Writing, yes.
Okay.
Which is why I like to go on my walk right after school, between school and right before I write, because it's also sort of like a transition period. But because the sun sets so early now, it sets at about 4:30, it's been really hard for me to get in my walk on time because I'm still going on school from 4 to 4:30, and my walk takes like maybe 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have the time.
Yeah, she runs out of time and she runs out of light.
Yes.
Okay, my afternoon also did not go as planned. I was actually just starting to read the news. Still haven't read the news. It's now well after 3. And I was also studying my French for today. I rotate. If you haven't already, be sure you check out my new series, Travel Talk Tips and Trivia, where I'm teaching you a little bit of, and Megan too, teaching you a little bit of 5 different languages. I am doing the French, Spanish, German, and Italian, and Megan teaches you some Japanese. And so every day I spend a good amount of time doing my language, and I rotate through them. So I'll do one language. I don't want to try, I could, but I do one language a day, and I rotate through those 4 languages. I was in the middle of my French, and I got a phone call, and it was a very important phone call and very helpful to me. So I'm glad I took the call, because it was just a 1-800 number, and it would have been easy for me to ignore it because I didn't know who it was. But I'm glad I answered it because it was the county, and it was in regards to some benefits that we get. It was time for me to renew my benefits, and one of the things it prompted me to do was, because it asked why my job had ended when I was renewing them online, it had a little drop-down menu, and one of the choices was physically unable, and so that's what I chose. And then it prompted me to fill out a disability application for Medicaid, which we've been on Medicaid for years and years. And so I did that, and I actually took the form to the courthouse because I didn't know where to send it. So he was explaining some of that to me, and I found out a few things that were really helpful for that from that phone call. The guy that I talked to, his name was Andrew, and he was happy that my son's name was Andrew. He's like, good name. And he explained a couple things to me that were really helpful that I had been wondering about. He didn't really know about the disability thing. He did find out that they also needed another form that he's going to mail to me that would give them permission to contact my medical providers and get copies of like my x-rays and my MRI and stuff like that to help determine whether I qualify for disability for Medicaid. It's different than qualifying for disability through Social Security. And I'm actually going to be going to see my doctor November 30th. And then I will tell you about what I find out from her in my next ankle update video, which I'm going to be putting up on December 4th or 5th, about 1 year after my injury, because you have to be disabled for at least a year or it has to lead to death, is my understanding for being qualified for disability through Social Security. And that's what I've kind of been waiting for, because I did not expect to still be in this physical condition a year later. I mean, when I first went to the doctor the day I got hurt, they're like, oh, 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, so anyway, that's 4 to 6 weeks for the bone to heal. Okay, that's what that was. A couple things that he told me that was basically all good news. One was Ben's ad revenue that he earns from Google AdSense for his YouTube channel does not count. It does not count toward our household income because he's under 18 and he's still in school. So they don't care about that. So we don't have to report that. Megan doesn't have a job right now, but because she's graduating early and she's still under 18, well, actually, since she's still under 21 and living at home, if she gets a job after she graduates, which she is kind of planning on doing, then we would have to count that as part of our household income. So that was good to know because I didn't know that. Okay. And then I've been worried about there's work requirements for people my age, although you're usually, if you're caring for children or you have minor children in your house and there's all these things. Well, it turned out the work requirement for some things is suspended right now because of the pandemic. And then he pointed out that because of my age, I will be 50 next year. And so then the work requirement won't apply to me anyway, because it's only from age 18 to 49. So it doesn't matter that even if I don't qualify for disability, it doesn't matter that I'm not working. I won't lose any benefits that I already have. I mean, obviously that doesn't help me with income, but I'm not going to lose anything that's helping us now because I'm not working. So that was really a relief to know that. And so I'm kind of curious to see, I think what would happen if Medicaid determines that I'm disabled, then as far as he knew, it's just going to change me to a different type of medical insurance through the state. I think the kids would stay the same. They, because they're not disabled, but we would still, no matter what, qualify for health insurance through the government, but I would just have a different kind. But I am kind of curious to see how this goes, because if they determine that I'm disabled, the state does, then I feel like that would go a long way in helping me to be declared disabled by Social Security. And then that would give me Social Security disability benefits, which would be a lifesaver. If anybody knows anything about disability through Social Security, because I've gotten such conflicting information and I can't seem to find anybody to give me a straight answer. That's why I'm going to my doctor, because I'm hoping that she has other patients that are on disability and that she'll know a little bit more about how you qualify for it and the whole process and everything. So, but watch for my next ankle injury update video, and I'll be telling you more about that there in my conversation with her. I'm actually going to finish this video up because it's getting pretty late. So Megan's taking a test right now in her forensic science class, and then I think she's probably going to be done for the day maybe. So she'll go for her walk. We ended up having lunch pretty late. It was like 1 o'clock by the time we ate lunch. So I'll probably just make a light supper, like 6-ish. And then we usually watch like a TV show in the evening. Ben started watching Captain Marvel at lunch, so he'll probably finish that. I watch all 3 FBI shows, and we already watched FBI and FBI International this week, and I'm the only one that watches FBI Most Wanted. So I'll probably watch that by myself. And then Megan will write, because that's what she likes to do in the evening. She writes until Ben and I go up to bed, and then while we're getting ready for bed, she watches an episode of Castle. And then she comes up after that. So that's kind of what we do in the evening. So I hope you all enjoyed this day in the life video. I know I haven't done one of these in a very long time. And like I said, our lives are kind of boring and not that exciting right now during the pandemic, which is why I usually focus on the travel stuff instead of anything like this. But if you like this, be sure to let me know by giving me a thumbs up down below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you have a great day. Safe travels.